Hi, it's me again with Corel Tips and Tricks. Somebody sent me somebody else's video and asked they could not duplicate what the gentleman was doing. And I watched it, and the only reason I could just know the tools that he used. But I'm actually going to maybe make it a little bit easier. He did some things that I wouldn't do, or I'm just going to do some things differently. So we're going to set our nudge factor on 1/2 inch. And we're going to nudge this over. We're going to hit the plus key on the keyboard. Then we're going to group that together, and I'm going to duplicate Control D, but I'm going to move it over twice as far. Yeah. Well, you know what? I'm going to move it. I'm going to delete that. I'm going to go 1/4 inch on this. And I'm going to Control D and make a duplicate. And then, yeah, you know what? That might work. Now I can Control D again. And because I paused, it paused. So there it made some more. And I could make one more. Somehow I broke that apart. See the orange, see the round. Whenever I did that, I used the control button. There we go. So I really want just these thick lines. Now I'm going to take a 2-point line, and I don't have to go all the way to the top. I held down the control button so it would be there, but I'm going to go that, and now I'm going to group these together. So I've nudged it 1/4 inch. Control D, and now I'm going to just Control D all the way down. Sometimes my old laptop doesn't keep up. We just want those spaces between the lines equally, and I didn't have to start as top like I did. Now, what the other gentleman did, this part, it really made sense how he did it. He just took the Smart Fill tool and filled this in, but then he had to fill in all the blocks. So I'm going to take the Smart Fill tool on this blue. I'm going to start a little bit higher this time. So I'm just going to do this. Now, he filled in every block, but and what I should have done before I started, I'm going to change my nudge factor. Just remember it's 1/4. I'm going to change it to 5. I'm going to nudge this out of the way. And I'm going to group this together, Control G. And if you watch a lot of my videos, I do that a lot. Now, instead of filling in all those other squares, we can Control D and make a duplicate of them. Whoop, got to go back to 1/4 inch. You know what? I had them duplicated, so I'm going to just delete those. And then I'm going to go ahead and group these, Control G, change my nudge factor to 1/4 inch. And I'm going to grab that blue and Control D. And see, there we go. Now I hit my palm on the door on the laptop. See, I'm filling in all those blocks without having to worry about it. Now on this bottom part, we want to have a solid line, so I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to skip that line, but I'm going to get these, and I'm not going to make it exactly like the other one. And the same thing here. Instead of deleting all these lines, I can Smart Fill this one, and then Control D and nudge it over. Control D, Control D, Control D. Now, if you remember, we group this together. So I'm going to set my nudge factor on like 6, and I'm going to nudge this whole thing out of the way. You see where I'm going now? I made it a little bit different one. Now I'm going to Control G to group it, Control D to duplicate it and mirror it. I'm actually going to turn the mirror gray so we can just see it. I'm going to hold down the control button and move it over. And this is where you're going to want to use your nudge distance. We might possibly be able to snap to it. And I did pretty good. But if you can't get there, you could set your nudge factor on 0.01, and you could move this minutely into place. Now, the only difference is this thing looks to be on the front of the page, so we're going to go to object order, back a page, and now it looks like they're going the other way. And then, so I've made mine literally too tall, but you could relatively fix that very easily, but it's just giving you the idea. Now these are grouped together, so we're going to grab the interactive fill tool, and we're going to make this top one blue. I get really irritated with Corel hiding that window. And we're going to make this bottom one black. We don't want too much black, and it takes a while because it has to fill in all of them. We can take our slide bar way down to here. We just want a little bit of black, and we can actually move that. And then you could actually do the same thing on the gray like I did. Interactive fill tool. Put a little black here. We'll leave that gray up top. See, if you can't get to that spot, but you can always use this. Fill that in. Now move your slide bar down. We just want a little bit of a black, and then move all this down. Now the only thing different that I can group this together now, Control G, hit P, put it in the center of the page, take a rectangle of any size, and hit P. Smart fill that in with, let's go with that same blue, go up to object order, back a page, but now you can grab this blue and go to the interactive fill tool and just swipe across, and then go to elliptical, put it in the center, and make it anything you want. Put a little dark in the middle. That looks pretty good. You probably move that out of the way a little bit more. And you could add more colors. We could put another little green right in here. Kind of give it a halo look. Pretty good. It's a little bit off. Now that I can see the color, so what we need to do is ungroup this. And by doing that, this is still a group. And we can set our nudge factor on that 0.01. And watch right in here when these lines kind of disappear. See? So that's a pretty good judge. The only thing I don't like about this design, these lines here look like they're, kind of going through. And that's partially because of the interactive fill tool on this. Maybe we can make that a lighter gray in the middle. There we go. And then that way it looks like they're not really there. We could go a little bit darker. Pretty cool effect, pretty cool logo, or graphic, or whatever it is. Anyway, I hope that answered their question, and thank you for watching.